everybody, welcome to the Q&A video that I said I would do. So most of the questions that I got, and if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes here, were just about the birthing stories, so I figured that I would just cover that whole thing. And then the only actual other question I got, besides how are you and the kids and stuff, which I will cover, was from Celie's Reborn Babies. And she asked, how did you come up with Flynn's name? And Mr. Flynn's here. He's right here. Stretching. Let me show you this little jacket he's wearing. It's got a dinosaur on the back. Where are you going, buddy? It's got a hoodie. It's got a dinosaur on the back. This is a little outfit. Here, look at him. His hat's too big. Show them your little outfit. It's got little buttons at the collar. See the little buttons. So handsome in gray pansies. Isn't he cute like a little dog? You stretching, buddy? He's so cute. He's like, Mom, it's so bright in here. I have the shades open for lighting. Aw, yawn. He's too tired. He doesn't want to play this game. You got a little smile you got there? Huh, mister? Aww. There's Mr. Flynn. So, I made up a list of names, and on that list was Flynn and a bunch of other names. And Flynn actually means son of the red-haired man, or some version of that. So, my husband's actually a ginger, so he really liked that name and the meaning, and all the kids liked it too. So, it just came about that way. We all agreed on that name, and we liked the meaning, and it made sense, and it was a cute name, so we went with it, and that's how he became named Flynn. Yes, it's Mr. Flynn. Oh. He's trying to open his eyes, but it's too bright, so his eyes are rolling back. Hey, mister. You want to say hi to everybody? You want to say hi, but it's too bright in here for you. That's right. It's too bright. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Be ready. Give us a smile. Give us a smile. Come on. Sometimes if I tickle his cheek, he smiles. Isn't he sweet? Anyway, so let's do the birthing story. Oh, by the way, everyone's doing great. When he was first born, he was jaundice. But they sent us home with a Billy blanket. And we got his levels down on our own. Oh, cranky boy. Here, buddy. Here you go. You want your pacifier? Come on. There you go. Pacifier. Yes. Pacifier. Shh, 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 shh. Will you spit that out? He's mad at me. Mom? Oh, then you give me a smile? You're mad, then you give me a smile. He's too cute. Anyway, am I waking you up, buddy? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So let's do the birthing story. So, during the beginning of my pregnancy, my blood pressure was elevated. And that was kind of worrisome, so we were checking it all the time, but then it started going back to normal-ish, kind of. And then I did my first, so they did my 1-hour glucose test early. So we did the 1-hour one, and it was slightly elevated, so they wanted to do the 3-hour one, which was really hard for me to get through. Because you can't drink any water, you can't eat anything during that whole time, and you have to fast 8 hours before. So that's 12 hours of nothing. So it would make me really sick to my stomach, and I was trying not to. Come on. Whew. There you go, buddy. There you go. There you go. He always puts his hand behind his head. Where are you going forward, buddy? There you go. There you go. There you go, buddy. Oh, I'm sorry. So, the 3-hour one, I got through it, even though it was really hard. And I passed that one, so my levels were not elevated. And I don't know who all is familiar with the glucose test, but you have to drink this really sugary drink. And if your blood sugar is elevated when they check your blood after you drink this drink, you have to do the 3-hour test where they give you a drink that's twice the amount of sugar as the really sugary drink that you first drank in the 1-hour test. And then they check you every hour for 3 hours. So they're drawing your blood every hour for 3 hours. So that's that test. So I passed this 3-hour one. So they were just going to keep an eye on it. Then, looking at my notes. So they had to send me all the way to Phoenix for a ultrasound. They didn't have the equipment to do it here due to my weight. They couldn't see exactly everything they needed to see because they don't have the like more high-tech ultrasound that you need. So I went to Phoenix Perinatal, which is like over 2 hours away from where I live. And they did the anatomy ultrasound because that's what I went there for. And checked all his measurements and his organs and all that good stuff. And then they did a newborn screening, and the newborn, even though the ultrasound came back normal, the newborn screening came back positive for Down syndrome. So that was a little bit, I was taken back by it, but I wasn't like, I would never plan on giving him up in any way, but I was just really worried and sad about like if he did have DS, the struggles he would have to face in his lifetime, and just like people judging him. Like it just made me like really kind of like sad and aware, like that's hard to be a parent and see your kid struggle. So but they did this other blood, they told me I had 2 options. They can do a more in-depth blood test where they look at his blood that's inside of my blood, and they just like check all these certain things in there, or they could do an amniocentesis. How do you say it? Amniocentesis. Amniocentesis. Where they take that big needle and they put it through your stomach into the womb where the baby is, and there's complications with that and a possibility of hurting the baby, and I just opted out of that one. It was too risky and scary, and I didn't want anything to happen to him, so I opted out of that one. So I went with the blood work, and they did the blood work, and apparently the first test they do, they take in, they score you on all these different things, taking into consideration your height and weight, and I'm not exactly a spring chicken, and then the fact that I'm also overweight made him score higher, so that's why I got a false positive for Down syndrome, because the blood work came back normal. He does not have Down syndrome. So, so that came back normal. So, after that, I had to do the 1-hour glucose test again. It was slightly elevated, so again, I had to do the 3-hour one. And then with the 3-hour one, I got sick before they even took the first blood work. Before the first hour. So I got sick, so I had to go home, and they couldn't finish the 3-hour test, because if you get sick, the test is over. So after that, they just had me monitor my blood sugar at home, and I already have the reader and everything, because my daughter has type 1 diabetes, so they just like gave me strips and stuff so I could just test myself at home. And so I was testing and everything was staying within normal levels. So that was good. And then near the end of my pregnancy, my joints started like spreading really badly, and like I couldn't walk or move at all without severe, like, it felt like almost like they were disconnecting and connecting, like popping in and out. My lower, like everything from my waist down, my lower back, everything was just popping and clicking, and it was very uncomfortable, and it was really hard to walk or stand for any amount of time. And my blood pressure started becoming more elevated again. So at 37-week checkup, the day I was supposed to go to my doctor's appointment, I actually slipped and fell in the shower, landing on my hip on the edge of the tub. And I waited a little bit, and then I got myself up. Ended up slipping and falling again. So I fell twice on the same hip. So my hip was like in a lot of pain. So I went in for my appointment, and I let them know what happened because they checked my blood pressure and it was really elevated. And I told them, like, my hip is really hurting and pain can affect your blood pressure. So I figured, that could be why, They said that I had to go to the hospital, that I had fallen, and anytime after a fall, even if you don't hit your stomach, they like to monitor the baby for 4 hours afterwards. So they sent me straight to the hospital. So they had him on the monitor for 4 hours, and then they did an ultrasound. And in the ultrasound, they didn't explain this to me then, but they explained it to me the next day. Well, someone else explained it to me the next day. So in the ultrasound, they're looking for 8 specific movements, and he got a 6 out of 8. So they sent me home that night, and then the next morning I was supposed to go first thing, go for another ultrasound at my doctor's office. So I went to the doctor's office, and they did the ultrasound again, looking for those movements. And once again, he scored a 6 out of 8. So the ultrasound tech told me to hold on a minute, and she went and talked to the doctor. She came back in the room and she said, "You have to go to the hospital. She wants you to go straight to the hospital." And I said, "Okay. Can I ask why?" Because at this point I have not spoken to a doctor yet. The night before in the hospital, I had not spoken to a doctor at all. So I didn't know any of this stuff. And the ultrasound tech can only tell you so much. They're not supposed to disclose certain information. They're not allowed to. He's stretching. And so I asked her, and she said, "I think it's just to be monitored." So I'm like, okay. So I went into the hospital thinking, okay, they want to do another 4-hour monitoring or something like that. And when I get there, they tell me, "Actually, your doctor sent you here to be induced." And I was like, okay, I have nothing with me. My husband's not here. He dropped me off. He's with the kids. I started panicking, trying to call my mom. My mom's in Phoenix, and they told me, "Well, we haven't put you in the after like a few minutes of me being there, they told me, "Well, we haven't put you in the computer yet. You can go home and get your stuff, get all ready, and then come back." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, great." But they're wanting to monitor the baby. They're worried about him. I was worried about him, so that's why they were doing it. So it wasn't like, take it easy, come back in a couple days. It was like, come back today, go home and get ready. So I went home. My mom came here from Phoenix. She drove straight over. So she came to stay with the kids. My husband went with me to the hospital. But I'm still thinking like it was the same as with my other pregnancies where, my husband can come and get stuff if he needs to. He can come and go from the hospital. But apparently because of COVID, once you get in there, because of the pandemic, once you get to the hospital, you have to stay there. You cannot leave the hospital. You can't even be in the hallway. So we didn't realize that, so we didn't bring a lot of stuff, and that we would have brought had we known that. This is a small town. There's only one hospital, so we don't live that far from the hospital, so I figured he could go back and forth and get stuff if we needed it, but that was not the case. So it was kind of like shocking. Like, we're like, oh, okay, we cannot leave this hospital. It was kind of shocking, the whole thing. Like, they sent me there. I wasn't aware I was being induced. I was only like about 37 and a half weeks. So So they started me on these pills that they give you every 4 hours to start the process of getting your cervix ready to give birth, like softening it, you know, all that stuff. So they did that night, and then the next morning, they started me on the Pitocin. They said I was 3 centimeters dilated, so they could start the Pitocin, because you have to be, I think, at least 3 centimeters to be able to start the Pitocin. So because of those pills got it started, I could take the Pitocin now. So I was on the Pitocin, and I got an epidural. They popped my water. So this started the contractions coming faster and harder, and I was in so much pain. I wanted the epidural refilled, and they give you this little pain thing that you hit. You can hit it every time the light goes on, and I think it takes about, I can't remember if it was 5 minutes or 10 minutes, because I was in a lot of pain. But you hit it, and it gives you an instant burst of medicine. However, this was doing nothing. I was hitting it every time the light came on. And we were waiting for the epidural doctor to come back in and refill the epidural, because now I'm feeling everything and I'm not good with pain. So, he finally comes back in and refills it. Right after he comes back in and refills it, the baby's heart rate was dropping, and they couldn't get a good read on him with the bands. So they wanted to put one of those monitors on the top of his head. So they had the doctor come in, a bunch of nurses came in, they're about to do that, and the doctor just, like, I'm just laying on the bed, the doctor just, you know, goes under there and starts looking and says, "You're ready to push now." Like, my feet were not in the stirrups, I was just laying on the bed, but she said, "Yeah, you're ready to push now." So that was like, I think not even 2 hours since I had the first medicine of the epidural. They had just given me more. And so she said, "Yeah, go ahead and push." So I'm like literally just like laying on the bed, and my husband grabs my hand, and he grabs both my hands. He reaches over because I needed both hands. And I pushed twice. That baby and the placenta just came out on the bed. And mind you, the whole time my blood pressure was elevated that whole time, and after I had him, my blood pressure started going back down to normal. And so because the placenta came out right after, the doctor said that's a placental abruption, like it wasn't supposed to be detached yet until the baby actually came out. So I think that what they think happened is that it detached right before I started pushing. So the baby was safe. Otherwise, the baby would have been in danger. So, luckily, that did not happen. So, but yeah, it was just like so strange. Like the baby and then the placenta came right out, like 2 pushes. Oh my gosh, it was just so stressful. And the whole pregnancy, I was stressed out. My anxiety was through the roof. Just worried all the time. So yeah, that's the birthing story. 6 pounds, 12 ounces. This is my smallest guy. If you guys want to see him again. There he is. He's sleeping now. So handsome. Anyway, so yeah, that's the birthing story. And I hope you guys enjoyed that. I don't feel like I enjoyed reliving it. It was well stressed out now. Stressed. Anyway, so yeah, I feel so much better now that I'm not pregnant anymore. I can walk normally. I don't feel like I'm gonna fall over at all. Like, pretty much feel back to how I was before I got pregnant. And I'm so glad he's here. He's very healthy, as you can see. He's gained weight already. He's gotten bigger. He's really long. His newborn baby clothes do not fit anymore because he's too long. He's pretty bald, but he's really cute. Hey, buddy. And I was going to share this stuff I got from Amazon with you guys. They're just little hats I wanted to show you guys and do a little review of them, and then I'll put some pictures of the babies wearing the hats. Babies meaning my toddler and him. At the very end of the video for you guys. And I'll be right back with those hats. Alright, guys. So sorry for the camera shaking, guys. I wanted to real quickly show you these hats I ordered on Amazon. And if you guys are interested, I will link them in the description below. But here's the first hat. I ordered this for Kai, my 2.5-year-old. Now, the color was a lot lighter than what was pictured. But other than that, I really like the color, and it's really, really good quality. So I was pleasantly surprised, because it was a really good price too. It's like a little acorn hat. Really cute. But that is for my toddler. And then let me show you the hats. They're like little bonnets that I ordered. I guess they're called pixie bonnets. I ordered for Flynn. So there's the bag it comes in. I was really surprised at what good quality these are as well. So here's the tag. If you guys are interested. It says Evie Collection by Malleyware. I guess Malleyware. But this is a color sage. And then heathered gray. And then this like nice autumn orange color. But there's the bonnets. They have the strings like that. And then they're like that. And they're really, really soft material. Material. They're really soft material. And very good quality. I didn't realize you have to hand wash these. But the fabric's really nice and soft, and they're small, so that won't be a problem. But yeah, these are for Flynn, and I'm going to put some pictures of the kids in their hats at the end of the video. So look for that, and see you guys next time. Bye-bye.